Hi, I'm Zachary Quinn, and I'll be talking to you today about a charity. But before I start that, let me start off by asking you guys a question. Have you guys known your grandma or ever known your grandma in your lifetime? Okay, well, I had a grandma too. My grandma died when she was 89 years old, and she was the type of grandma she was really kind, and she was there for pretty much anybody. And we found out from the doctor about a month before she passed away that she had a stage 4 terminal brain cancer, and my grandma like immediately knew that it was over. She just had a sense of feeling, I guess, and she told my entire family. She's like, "I told you guys I wouldn't live forever," and we all laughed it off. But it made me do a lot of thinking, and I did some research on some charities that help fund towards research against cancer and would hopefully find like a cure for it or something, which is what my original thought was. But after doing all this research, you find a lot of uh, charities and organizations that go towards finding a cure and like having certain methods of treatment. But that wasn't really what I was looking for. I wanted to find something that detected it earlier, and I ended up finding the Prevent Cancer Foundation. The Prevent Cancer Foundation is a foundation that works. It's a charity that works towards preventing cancer and like early detection of it. So they're going to find it as quick as possible, and they're going to resolve that problem before it becomes stage 3 or 4, which are the ones that are actually pretty life-threatening. Most of the funds that they raise, the Prevent Cancer Foundation raises, go towards research, which is also pretty good. That was a key point of mine that I wanted to like find. And then on top of that, the Prevent Cancer Foundation is more of a community than an organization. They do a lot of things outside, which I'm going to explain a little bit later. But this is a really big growing problem for America because the need for help is growing with cancer patients. Like treatment costs a lot, and if you get diagnosed with like 3 or 4, like stage 3 or 4 cancer, like if you're diagnosed with stage 4, you can get treatment to delay your life, but you're still gonna pass away. As a high chance. Stage 3 is like you might get lucky, you might live. 2 and 1 you can live, but it all costs a lot of money, and they all require a lot of treatment. So the Prevent Cancer Foundation really works on finding it as soon as possible, so they can take care of like they can save you some money. That's a big thing. Um, but they also have been making a lot of strides talking about money. They've been making a lot of money themselves. They've been doing a lot of fundraising, and in 2019 they reported that we have provided more than $140 million in support of cancer prevention and early detection research, education, advocacy, and community outreach programs nationwide. And that's a lot of money. That's $140 million that has gone towards research and development, and that's what you like to see. The medical field's expensive, but it's like donations like that, the amount of money that are going to make impacts. Uh, and on top of that, they have been saving people that little bit of money every time they help detect it, which is also very good. And like I stated earlier, they put a lot of their funding towards research and development. America's charities reported that on average, 79 cents of every dollar raised by the Prevent Cancer Foundation goes directly to supporting the foundation's programs. That's 79 cents. It's about 80% because they're taking it out of a dollar. We're gonna round it up to 80%. So 80% of their funding that they receive goes directly towards their purpose, that's a lot. And the other 20%, they don't state it in here, but when I was doing my research, I found this out. The other 20% actually goes into like hosting events, so they can just get more, so they can market themselves and then get more donations in the long run. And it makes quite a bit of sense. And when I was talking about there's like the Prevent Cancer Foundation is like more of a community, not an organization. I actually found out about them through a different organization called Games Done Quick. They host events twice a year, and they're a place that plays video games, and they speed run them every year, and they raise money. In the past couple of years, they've actually chosen their charity that they're raising money for. It was the Prevent Cancer Foundation, so they've been raising money for that, and they've actually averaged about $3 million a year that goes towards the Prevent Cancer Foundation or whatever charity they're choosing during that stream. It's a lot, and it's just crazy how you find video games and like cancer research to be in like synced. It's pretty good. And I've talked about cancer a lot already, but if you don't know what it is, cancer or like how it's formed, Cancer forms when your cells in your body, they have to split when old cells die, new cells split through a process called mitosis. It's cell division, and cancer forms when like a mutation occurs among that cell division. So it's something it's like kind of genetic. It can happen at random. So that's why like looking for a cure, it shouldn't be your biggest like concern, because it's kind of hard to look for like a genetic cure. Um, but in 2019, in 2019 there was 2 million cases of cancer in the United States. 2 million people were diagnosed, and the National Cancer Institute stated that in 2018 there was 600,000 deaths, which is a 30% mortality rate, which is extremely high, and that's really hard to hear. Um, since anybody can get cancer at any age, it's pretty flabbergasting to hear that kind of mortality rate, because that could be your neighbor that you know, that could be your friend, that could be you, that could be anyone in your family. It's just there's so many different people, and the funny thing is that most of Americans think that cancer can actually treat itself. You don't need to get treatment for it. The American Society of Clinical Oncology did a survey in 2019, and they found out that 4 in 10 Americans believe that cancer can be cured without standard treatment. That's flabbergasting, and that's what I'm trying to prove to you guys, that that's not the case. You need something else, and that's what the Prevent Cancer Foundation is providing. So we're going to talk about a little bit of the history of the foundation. Prevent Cancer Foundation was actually founded in 1986 by Carolyn Aldeeg. She was working towards a purpose, and it was really important. So she had a little bit of money, and she reached out to a lot of other people and connected very well. So she got it up and running, and it's good that she did, because when she got it done, she also realized that cancer was a big problem, and she did this in 1986, which was a while back, so that's pretty good. But when she founded the organization, she developed into a 4-type model. The first type is going to be funding, so like they put funding towards doctors and stuff. The second type of model that they have is education, because they like to teach a lot of patients and families who are going to deal with cancer. They teach them about how cancer works and how they can best avoid it in the future, and what kind of best methods they could take to like go about their lives. This type 3 is going to be their community response. They're really knit like a community, like I previously established. They really focus on other people, and they're not just an organization trying to grab like our money. And the fourth type of model that they're in is, it's called advocacy. So basically, when they state that, they're trying to imply like they follow the laws and regulations that the government puts before, which is also really important, because they're not finding shady cures. But everyone pretty much understands the lives that are taken by cancer, because almost everyone in the United States is affected by cancer. If the Prevent Cancer Foundation raised enough money optimally, we wouldn't have problems with cancer, because we wouldn't have a mortality rate. It would be 0%, because we would help people when they needed it. But if we just got rid of the Prevent Cancer Foundation, then cancer would be running rampage, because nobody would be funding research. And if people aren't paid to do their job, they're not going to do it. But we're currently, at least currently, we're in the middle. So we have a good majority of people who are trying to fund like cancer research and go for it. It's just not there to the point where it's completely gone, or like people are still dying. We still have a 30% mortality rate, and that's a lot. But overall, the Prevent Cancer Foundation is an organization that has helped countless individuals worldwide. They fund research and development methods to detect cancer early and prevent it. And like I said before, about 80% of their profits go towards actual research and development, which is really good. They also break that boundary of like the organization into like more of a community setting, because they have more of individuals like singled out instead of like people grouped up and well knit. It's kind of people from all around, which is really good, what you want to see. And honestly, I've given you guys all the information you need to know about the Prevent Cancer Foundation. I've already given these guys just only like $50 out of my pocket. I've supported them for the last 3 years. I've been giving them money constantly for the past 3 years. It's not a lot, but that's what I can do personally. And I know that if all of us just give a little bit to them, then they're gonna reach their goal, and we're not gonna have to deal with any more deaths from cancer. And overall, the world would be a better place. So honestly, after hearing that mortality rate, how could you not donate? Thank you for your time.